Hi, and welcome back to the JustOneFern podcast, now being refranchised as the Just One Rinaldi podcast. Aaron is under the weather. He's having some issues with his voice. It is mostly gone, but he did send us a little video so we can hear what he's sounding like right now and why he can't speak and why I have to be doing the podcast alone. So if you want to listen to that, here we'll go.
I had a very, very strong voice till I was 46 years old. It was unusually strong, and even at that time, I was making a lot of my income doing public speaking.
Public speaking, yeah, probably through the podcast. Didn't know Aaron's age, but it's tough. You can hear what kind of pain he's going through right now. So thoughts and prayers with Aaron. I wouldn't want to sound like that. If I sounded like that, it'd probably I'd stop doing whatever it was I'm doing, because I'm unfit for it. Like a podcast or whatever that guy's doing. So I think that I wanted to get started with showing you what it's like here at my place, how fun it is here at my place. Here, I don't have a mic stand here, so that's the first step as what it's like at my place. But you know what I do have? I do have Pepsi, and I do have a glass, and I think let's go ahead and get started. Let's pour ourselves a glass of Pepsi. And I was doing this impression earlier. I don't know if you've seen Game of Thrones, but King Robert Baratheon. And this it's really funny to me by myself, but now that I'm trying to perform it, I feel a little bit embarrassed by it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Come to my house where the Pepsi flows like wine. Yeah, we like to have fun here, don't we? A couple things I want to talk about today. First things first, I watched The Office reboot, The Paper. It's pretty good. I thought it was really funny. I watched Drew Gooden's video on The Paper because I figured he was just going to rip into it. I was not prepared for him to kind of like it. This is a YouTuber. If you don't know him, Drew Gooden. And he has really good taste, I think, in general. So I trusted him, and I went ahead and watched it. And it was really good. I disagreed with some of the things he had to say. However, I think on the whole it was like pretty solid. Made me laugh out loud like a bunch. I was surprised again to see Alex Edelman in this. He's the comedian I met who famously snubbed me when I tried to give him a compliment. And I was surprised to see he wasn't one of the better characters. He's very funny, but he's like, I think he probably got the worst role. Which is tough, but the show in the whole is really great. I think the main guy's British and he's doing an American accent. I think it's the guy from About Time, and he's in Star Wars. Yeah, it's really funny. It's kind of, there's some nice moments of romantic tension. Honestly, not a bad character in the bunch except for Alex's, which kind of sucks for him. But yeah, I recommend it. Just spilled some. Nobody tell Cassie. We're on to the next piece of business here. What else did I want to talk about? Land is playing a gig with Aaron Fern this week on the 16th at Alphaville. Go if you can. If you cannot, subscribe to the Patreon. It's only $1. I know a lot of you already do subscribe, but buy a subscription for somebody you love. Then I think we're also gonna play with him in December. We will see. I don't know if I'm allowed to announce that yet, but I'm saying it anyway. Another thing I saw that was, actually, hold on. I want to rant about something. Ice is not cold enough to be just wrapped in a regular towel. if you have an issue where you need to ice like your arm, or like maybe you hurt your knuckle, or maybe you hurt like a piece of your body and need to ice it, you look it up online. Everybody says, put a bunch of ice cubes in a plastic bag and wrap a towel around it and put that on the area. That's not cold enough. I don't know why we've been saying it's cold enough. It's not nearly cold enough. I end up going through a phase where I take the towel off and then I just apply the ice directly. That's way too cold. I put the towel back on and I put it back on the ice. It's like there's no ice on me. The towel is too insulating. I can't get enough coldness through. I have just started using paper towels, and maybe I've been misreading this the whole time. You're supposed to use paper towels. I've been using paper towels, and does that sound bad when I do that? I've been using paper towels. I'm going to move on. And that's been better, but it still sucks. So I don't know what we're supposed to be doing out here, people. Am I missing something? I'm annoyed at this. I think bad advice, wrap it in a towel. It's not cold enough. It will never be cold enough. I think we really just have to start investing in buying like the actual cold packs online. I found out they're not that expensive, and it's kind of ridiculous I don't have one. But I have ice cubes, so I'm probably never going to buy one. The next thing I saw online, we're doing a quick episode today. It's probably the last thing I want to talk about. Online, I saw that it was the 1-year birthday of 2 dire wolves. Now, at first, I realize to most people this probably sounds like nothing, but this is not nothing. A dire wolf is an extinct species. So I saw this and I went, so we are bringing animals back from the dead? I thought this was science fiction. I thought this was Jurassic Park. What happened? I was pretty excited. I was like, okay, we're finally doing this. They've been talking about bringing woolly mammoths back from extinction for years now. We can do it, we think. I don't know how far along that is. I've not looked into that part of it. But basically, they want to bring them back and put them in the tundra to help with global warming. There's a lot of cool science behind it. And it's a real thing they're thinking about doing. I hope they do it. From the similar era of our timeline, there was another animal called a dire wolf, and it's just a wolf that's bigger, basically. And they went extinct because we hunted things like woolly mammoths, which is what they ate. So we hunted to extinction their food. Dire wolves die. In comes corporations who think that they are good enough and that they have the morality to, bring back extinct animals, and that they understand the impacts ecologically and science-wise, and that there's a lot of big words I could put out here, but they think that they have the right to do these things, and maybe they do because there's no legislation against it. Whatever. They're doing it, and it could be good, it could be bad. We'll find out. They already did with these 2 wolves. There's 3 wolves, but 2 of them just hit their 1-year birthday recently, and they're called dire wolves. And we have DNA for these wolves. Here's the thing, though. I looked into this. Turns out it's all fake. There is no dire wolf DNA in either of these wolves. They are wolves that are 20% bigger than regular wolves, already at 1 year old, but they are not dire wolves. What they did, instead of bringing back a species, they are genetically modifying these wolves in order to have enhanced features to make them look like what dire wolves look like in Game of Thrones. That might be where you've heard the term before, dire wolf. It's an animal. It's like a fictional creature in Game of Thrones. It's just a big wolf that the people from the north have as pets. It's like the first episode, they find a whole bunch of them, and they're in the series. So these these animals that they're claiming they brought back from the dead, extinct animals, Jurassic Parking these animals, they're not. They just took a wolf and they took the DNA and embryo and whatever, and they used a process called CRISPR. You can look it up online, CRISPR, to edit and slice up the genome of these wolves in order to make them appear larger and more like a fantasy creature. They're playing God way more than if like that was an argument as to why you didn't like this. This is way worse in that direction than bringing back an animal that existed. They're making a new animal completely in a lab. I don't know, man. It feels gross to me. I do not like this. They're lying to the public. Turns out dire wolves weren't even wolves. They weren't part of like the canine family in the same way. They're closer to something like a jackal or a hyena than they are to a actual wolf or a dog. So we are way off base here. We're not even close. And here was the factor that really, really made me upset. Not upset, but kind of disgusted with what they're doing. On their website, I can't say that. I don't know this for sure. But they have quoted a Native American chief as saying, here's what he said: the dire wolf is important to us, and bringing it back would mean a lot for my tribe. Something along those lines. And they use that as means and justification to do what they're doing. So not only are they lying to us and all these people about what they're doing, but they tricked a Native American tribe and probably people, it sounds like, into thinking that they're bringing back an animal that means a lot to their culture. And they're not. Now, I don't know what's happened since that quote. I've not looked. I'm not doing any investigative journalism here. But I thought that was gross. I thought that was quite the scam. And this is all press about it. I haven't taken a long look at their website. I have watched a couple of their videos. They could be saying very much in the back end, this isn't a real dire wolf. However, they're calling them dire wolves, and they're presenting them like they are dire wolves. I think it's a huge scandal. It's crazy to me. And the way I found out about it was at work, because one of the people I work with posts about cool news and facts. And one of the cool news and facts things was that they'd reached a year of age. So clearly none of this, of course it wouldn't with the way media works. Anyway, I had a rant about that. I thought that was crazy. I think I'm mad because I wanted it to be more true. I think I wanted them to be doing something cooler than they are doing. And I feel tricked because I was tricked, just like everybody's being tricked. So that's why I'm mad. I think that's stupid. You can go look it up. Their names are Romulus and Remus. That's the 1-year-old pups. Of course, I don't know if this is true, but I think it's based off of Rome, the myth of how Rome started, but also the brothers of Rome. But there's also wolves involved. I think I might look that up in a second. And then there's the third dog is named Khaleesi, which of course is a Game of Thrones reference. Here, I'm going to look this up. Romulus and Remus. Yeah, here we go. Romulus and Remus are twin brothers whose story tells of the events that led to the founding of the city of Rome and the Roman kingdom by Romulus. Following his fratricide of Remus. Sounds like he killed his brother. Anyway, this is what I'm thinking of. There's a classic image of a she-wolf suckling the twins in their infancy. And this has been a symbol of the city of Rome and the ancient Romans since at least the 3rd century BC, although the tale takes place before the founding of Rome. Okay, but it's associated with Rome. It's this. I don't know if it's going to focus on that for you, but yeah. Which is pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen that before, but it's just two twins suckling at the teat of a wolf. Okay, I feel better now. It's quite the catharsis. Thanks for listening to me rant. R.I.P. to the real dire wolves. I hope they bring back mammoths. You should check out The Paper. And thoughts and prayers for our Aaron Fern. I'm going to make just a quick statement about the mustache. I'm sure you've noticed if you're watching. It's for a costume. I know I've tried before and it's failed. And Cassie's coming home tonight. Cassie's been away for a week. She's coming home from Ireland tonight. She's in for a nasty surprise, and that's, we're going to have to deal with that. But that's okay, because it's for our couple's costume as Princess Bride. So, on the flip side, she'll be happy about that. All right. Thank you for watching. How do we end this normally? What do we usually say? Well, thank you for watching the JustOneFern podcast. Thoughts and prayers for Aaron.